Hello and welcome to this step-by-step XL500R lift installation guide. If you have any doubts about whether your or your customer's swim platform can accommodate a lift, make sure you check with the boat builder before installing. Also, if you lack experience of similar installations, we recommend you obtain the help of an appropriately qualified person. These instructions may not be applicable for all boat models. As this is just a guide, responsibility for ensuring proper installation lies entirely with you. For more details, check out our website or feel free to mail us any questions you might have. Start by placing both lift units on the boat's swim platform. Align the lift devices parallel to the boat's center line. Adjust to attain a minimum center-to-center distance of 1300 mm. It's important you allow an appropriate margin in relation to the size of the hull of the PWC to be lifted. We recommend a minimum 200 mm from the tip of the bow to the transom. Position the lift near the edge of the swim platform. This will give you an indication of where the hydraulic through-hull fittings should be installed. Note here, do not bolt the lifting units onto the swim platform until after you've installed the hydraulics and electrical system. There are two alternatives to installing the through-hull fittings, depending on the size of the swim platform. A small platform with weight limitations at the stern will require the PWC's weight to be centered as closely as possible to the transom, as in Alternative 1. With a longer swim platform, and if there are no weight issues at the stern, use Alternative 2 to free up more space. We'll be showing you an installation as per Alternative 2. Use the through-hull fittings as a template and mark the drill points. Thread the hoses through the swim platform and connect them to the through-hull fittings, making sure that the sealing ring on the hose coupling doesn't slip off. Apply silicone as a sealer to prevent water from seeping between the deck and piping into the boat. Next, secure the fitting. Now place the pump in an appropriate position in the engine room. Check the lengths of the hoses before securing the pump. If one is shorter than the other, adjust the position of the pump until both sets of hoses can be easily connected. Now mount the pump. Connect both lifting devices' port side hoses to the red-yellow flow dividers connection. Connect both lifting devices' starboard side hoses to the T-coupling connection on the other side of the flow divider. Now decide on where to install the remote control unit. It should be close enough to the lift to allow you to operate the unit even when standing close to your PWC, so carefully check the distances involved before drilling. Take care to connect the wiring to the corresponding numbered terminal on the connector. When that's done, you're all set to mount the remote control holder. Now for the electrical wiring. If you're in the least bit unsure about working with electricity, get someone qualified in to help you. Apart from damaging the boat's electrical circuit, faulty connections can lead to fire, personal injury, or even kill you. First, connect a 35mm squared battery cable no shorter than 10 cm in length to a 175 amp fuse. That's for a 12-volt system, or a 100 amp fuse for a 24-volt system. Next, connect a 35mm squared cable from the fuse to the battery's positive pole. Note here, if the distance to the battery is more than 2.5 meters, you'll need a 50mm squared cable all the way from the pump to the battery. Connect a cable, the same size as the positive cable, to the negative pole on the battery. Now connect the control cable to the remote control to a switchboard. This in order to shut down the system so that no one accidentally runs the lift. Connect the hydraulic hoses from the lift unit to the through-hull fittings. Fill up the hydraulic tank with a biodegradable hydraulic oil. Now it's time to mount the lift onto the swim platform. We start by raising the level arms in order to mount the lift arm. We do this by first pressing the activation button on the remote, followed by the up button. Note here the arms shouldn't be raised all the way. Stop before the maximum elevation point, otherwise you won't be able to mount the lifting arm. Now mount the lifting arms to the level arm on the lift. After that, push out the lifting unit. Lower the lifting arms to the lowest point. Make sure that the distance between the lifting arm and swim platform is 20 millimeters. Align both lifting units to a center-to-center distance of 1300 millimeters. Mark up the positions of the holes to be drilled on the platform. Carefully drill the 8 required holes per unit. Before bolting the lifting units onto the platform, make sure that you apply silicone in order to prevent water from leaking through the platform, and use the big washer under the platform and lock nuts. And that completes the installation. Now, before running the unit for the first time, you'll need to bleed the system from air by running the lift unit to its lowest position and leaving it there for 15 minutes. Repeat this procedure at least 3 times or until you're sure that there is no air left in the system. And that winds up our installation guide. For more details, check out our website or feel free to mail us any questions you might have.